I'm Chief Financial Officer Patrick Cornell. We're here on behalf of the Office of Management and Budget to give you a quick Budget 101.
I'm Deputy Mayor Jake Pawlak. It's important to engage with the city each year during the budget process because the mayor is directing our taxpayer dollars based on what you tell us. Your input is critical. What is the budget?
The budget is how we organize the financial resources that we collect each year and allocate those resources to different projects. In other words, it's how we plan what money comes in and what money is spent out. The city's budget guides municipal work, which directly impacts our lives as residents in the city of Pittsburgh.
The budget has two different components. The first is the operating budget, which pays for most day-to-day functions. This includes employee salaries and benefits, utility payments, office supplies, computers, and much more. These things are all paid for by annual revenue. That's mostly taxes, but also licenses and permits and payments for services. These dollars lapse at the end of each year. The operating budget considers 5 years to capture short and longer term trends and goals. For example, if we had a new position in Public Works, we were able to anticipate the salaries and benefits associated with that role for each of these 5 years.
The second is the capital budget, which pays for major infrastructure projects like roads, buildings, playgrounds, and bridges. These big projects are mostly paid for with funds that the city borrows by issuing bonds. This allows us to spread the cost of the investment into a piece of infrastructure across the years that infrastructure will be in use, rather than all at once. Sometimes we transfer funds from the operating budget to pay for capital projects. These are called pay-go or pay-as-you-go funds. The city receives millions of dollars from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. These are allocated through the capital budget and are primarily used to help make our communities better. We also receive millions of dollars from the state and federal government for transportation projects. The capital budget considers 6 years of work so that longer project cycles can be considered. For example, even a playground can take several years. First, we engage the community, then we design the asset, and finally we move into construction.
How do these budgets work together? The capital budget pays for most vehicles because they can be used for many years, and the operating budget covers gas and maintenance. If you own a car, this is probably similar to how you pay off your car over time. The capital budget covers major renovations at your neighborhood pool, but the operating budget pays for the water bill and the lifeguards. From the money side, each year we pay some of our capital debt down from the operating budget. This is also similar to how house mortgages work.
Our government only has responsibility for services inside the municipal limits of the city of Pittsburgh. Sometimes it's hard to tell where Pittsburgh ends and another municipality begins. Be careful when looking at addresses. Zip codes are set at the federal level and don't always follow local borders. So the city may have responsibility for just one part of a zip code. The city's geography is split up into 9 council districts. Other groups are responsible for anything outside of these boundaries.
Even within the city limits, our government may not have legal authority over something because it is handled by the federal, state, or county government, or another agency. Other organizations that you probably interact with regularly include Pittsburgh Public Schools, Pittsburgh Regional Transit, and PennDOT. The city has a closer relationship with the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority, the Parking Authority, and the Urban Redevelopment Authority, but they are still separate from our government.
So how do we decide how to allocate funds? The budget process follows an annual cycle. Each spring, everyone gathers information. Department directors think about what they would need in the next fiscal year. The public thinks about what it would like in the future. We work with the Office of Neighborhood Services, city leadership, and the public to make sure we have all of this information.
When we move into the summer, the administration drafts the budget. Departments submit their budget requests. The Capital Program Facilitation Committee meets to review and score all capital proposals. OMB reviews all requests, meets with directors and the mayor, and crunches the numbers.
In autumn, we release 2 budgets. The mayor releases a preliminary budget by September 30th. This is like the first draft of the document. Sometimes we make changes to the preliminary budget based on internal and external feedback. Then the mayor submits a formal budget to City Council in November.
After November, the Office of Management and Budget passes the document and the process on to City Council's Budget Office. Council holds public hearings, can revise the budget, and must pass a final document by the end of the year. Then the cycle begins again.
While we are working on next year's budget, we are also monitoring what's happening in the current fiscal year. What do our finances look like right now?
The 2024 operating budget anticipates $714 million in revenue and $686 million in expenditures. As of the end of May, we have posted $379 million in revenue, about 53%, and we have spent $265 million, or about 39% of the total 2024 operating budget.
The 2024 capital budget totals $159 million. There hasn't been a lot of spend from this yet, but construction season is now getting into gear and departments are still spending down capital funds from prior years too.
Two unique things to note for 2024. First, this is the last year that Federal American Rescue Plan dollars will support the operating budget. Since we plan 5 years, we've anticipated this. Second, there are challenges related to real estate. That is happening nationwide, and the Department of Finance is keeping close tabs on everything that is occurring at the county level. There are also several projects in the works to help bring more residents downtown.
Thank you for joining us for this Budget 101 session. We look forward to engaging with you throughout this budget cycle.